Hallo,
Hello.
moin,
Moin, I
jawohl,
like that. Jawohl. Jawohl.
jawohl, jawohl.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
What I hear, it's awesome, is boo boo in the
boo,
back.
boo, lay down,
Scratching. He
boo,
scratches. That's
lay
his.
down, lay
I
down.
can't ever seem to get comfortable. He's like daddy. Lay down, bud.
But we are SueSue, Boo Boo, Buster who's over there, and that guy, the wolf man, the one, the only.
You don't want two of me.
So
Ask
moin,
her
moin,
to be
moin.
real. You don't want two of me. One's enough. Half of me would probably be
You
good.
know what I think about when I think of Germany?
What's that?
Cakes and pastries, a black forest.
That's not what I
cake.
think.
I think of other things, but lately I've just,
Oh,
maybe
yeah,
I've
man,
been
cake. We want
craving
cake so bad. Cake and
pastry.
pie, as you can tell. Um,
Anyway,
Chocolate.
moin. We are doing a reaction to the making of Radio by Rammstein. We watched Radio and we really liked it.
Liked it.
That was such a good video. So we're following up with the making of it.
Yes.
Yes.
Sheesh.
All right, so are you ready?
I'm ready.
Let me get this set up over here.
Okay. Get in the box.
And over here. I gotta make this bigger. That's what he said. All right, headphones, Daddy.
Yeah. You guys just don't know. We are such fools. We have a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's
Yeah,
foolish.
fool.
She's not a fool. She's foolish. I'm a buffoon. Not a baboon.
Sometimes you're a baboon.
And I'm a buffet.
A smorgasbord, you could say. All right, ready?
Yes.
Ja, weißt du, wie man den Ring wieder anmacht? Das Carlos. Kannst du den Ring nochmal anmachen, Carlos?
Das Lied heißt Radio und dann dachten wir spielen es im Radio. Live für die Leute. Hallo, hier ist der Sohn. Na?
Und Ansage?
Achtung, Achtung, hier ist Berlin, Königs Wusterhausen und der deutsche Kurzwellensender.
Not in a series? Then,
Less serious,
yeah.
more serious.
Achtung, Achtung,
Yeah.
you know, just act a little bit more like this
Okay.
is a very serious, the first transmission ever, right?
Okay.
Achtung, Achtung! Hier ist Berlin, Königs Wusterhausen und der deutsche Kurzwellensender.
Diese Ansage, die über Radio vorne ist, das war die erste Radioübertragung in Deutschland. Das ist genau der Text. Das war 1923.
Wir senden Tanzmusik.
Wir durften nicht dazugehören, nicht sehen, reden oder hören. Doch jede Nacht für 1, 2 Stunden bin ich dieser Welt entschwunden.
Was mich bei Radio berührt hat, war eben, dass das eine persönliche Geschichte war. Dass es aus der Sicht der Band in die Freiheit geschrieben war, dass es in der Vergangenheit erzählt ist. Ein konstant aktuelles Thema ist eine innere und äußere Freiheit.
Wir durften nicht dazugehören, nicht sehen, reden oder stören. Jenes Liedgut war verboten, so gefährlich fremde Noten. Doch jede Nacht ein wenig froh, mein Ohr ganz nah am Weltempfänger.
Die Charaktere der Band sind ja da auch wieder, wenn man genau hinguckt, ganz spezifisch zugeordnet. Ne? So typgerecht, sag ich mal. Also Flakes Outfit passt zu Flake. Flake hat einen Theo Lingen-Style an mit seinen Hochwasserhosen und diesem Stehkragen und so. Hat so ein bisschen diesen Professor-Charakter, ne? So, und das ist er ja auch, so der Doktor, ne?
Klapper, klapper, klapper.
Und dann Paul kommt ein bisschen verspielter daher mit so einem Samtblazer und so einem, ich habe wieder vergessen, wie das Ding heißt, dieses Rüschenteil.
Plastron. Plastron. Na, der kriegt ein Plastron. Naja, geht doch nicht mit so einem 0815. Geht doch nicht mit einem Plastron aus der Kaufhalle. Was denkst du denn?
Und Playback und Action!
Radio, mein Radio. Ich lass mich in den Äther saugen, meine Ohren werden Augen. Radio, mein Radio. So höre ich, was ich nicht sehe, stille, heimlich, fernes Weh.
Für Till wollte ich unbedingt den Frack eines Tenors und wollte ihn wieder zu der großen, fast majestätischen Leitfigur machen. Er füllt das auch total aus, ne? Aber der wollte diese weißen Handschuhe. Und diese weißen Handschuhe und das groteske Make-up, weil ist ja natürlich eine Lippenstift, das sind Frauen, also es war so, das ein bisschen dieses Geisha-hafte, aber gehört auch in diese stumpfe, karikatureske Welt.
Sein München kommt er ja an. Sein München und so spitz. Kommt so. Ja, ich hätte hier.
Und dann kannst du auf die Pauke hauen. Ne? Dann kannst du auch von deinen Bewegungen und so. Du musst das Bild, wie es aus dir rauskommt.
Diese Handschuhe und dieses Make-up machen ihn aber auch zum Clown. Und das ist ein Element für Rammstein mit ihrer direkten, das, was ich immer sage, den Finger in die Wunde und umdrehen. Das ist das, was Rammstein immer wieder machen. Das ist das, du kannst sagen, was du willst. Du kannst das dem Volk um die Ohren schlagen, dem König präsentieren. Den ganzen Irrsinn darfst du ihm einfach ins Gesicht sagen, wenn du der Narr bist.
So höre ich, was ich nicht sehe, stille, heimlich, fernes Weh.
Sorry guys, on my other channel I do this a lot. I won't do this, hopefully this is the last time. But something that with my brain, I forget things. I wanted to remember what he said there was very interesting. He said, if you approach the king and you're a clown or a jester, you can say anything you want to. And that's historically correct, right? Mm-hmm. I love that. I mean, I think that's good. And that's why he's kind of dressed up like a clown. Right? Mm-hmm. They're all dressed up like clowns. Now we don't really know who the king is, but I also have some other things to say afterwards about the time period.
Okay.
Sorry.
Die Idee war ja die Frauen drehen durch auf die Musik, die hören die Musik, die Frauen drehen frei, die wollen sich befreien.
Jede Nacht und wieder flieg ich einfach fort mit der Musik.
Da kommt die Männlichkeit.
2, 3, 4,
Da kommt das Marschieren und will das stoppen.
Schwebe so durch alle Räume, keine Grenzen, keine Zäune.
Da kommt der Arm des Gesetzes, dann marschieren die alle auf und sagen so, verboten, dann holen die ihre Schlagstöcke raus und hauen ins Leere, weil es ist Kunst. Und das ist sozusagen die Message, weil da liegt der Trugschluss. Du kannst eine Band stoppen, du kannst sie verbieten, du kannst die Kunst nicht stoppen. Die ganze Energie, die dreht sich um. Das ist wunderschön geworden, weil die ganze Weiblichkeit kommt auf einmal raus.
Und langsam wieder zu.
Nichts ist mehr Konvention. Ne? Die Kunst verändert die Konvention und die Kunst verändert sozusagen das Gesellschaftsbild. Das ist die Message.
Ich, was ich nicht sehe, stille, heimlich, fernes Weh.
Ich finde die Sounds von Flake geil. Ich finde, der hat ein unglaubliches Repertoire und zu diesem Repertoire gehört auch Kraftwerk. Und da sind sicherlich auch Wurzeln.
Radio.
Radio.
Right.
Radio. 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 In nomine Patris Sanctis in Mario. Wo ist die Kamera, wenn man sie braucht? Hier ist sie schon an deinem Gesicht. Ich meinte die richtige. Nimm sie doch, sie ist so klein. Das ist doch nur die Making-of-Kamera. Aber sie macht doch schöne kleine Bilder. Weil sie ein teures Objektiv vorne drauf hat, das erkenne ich am goldenen Ring.
Absolute idiots. You don't have to do anything. It's good.
Okay.
Just take it out.
That was excellent.
I loved it, and I have so much to say. Right, so let me say my ridiculousness real quick, Sue, and then I'll be quiet and you can say. So for me, again, and it just comes off the heels of us making a video that you'll see later from Sabaton. And the Sabaton video is history, right? And they try to present it as such. Now, whether their history is skewed by their nationality or the things they think, like all history is really, right? And people, they talk about rewriting history, right? We generally rewrite history to make us look better, right? Now, in this country right now, we're rewriting history to make people look bad. But that's what it goes through. But what I was thinking about Germany in the 20s, right? And so he said the first radio came out in 1923, and that's what the guy said. And so, but in Germany in the 20s was so decadent, man. It was titties hanging out all the time. It was in fact, the Germans pretty much invented porn, and pretty terrible porn, like incest and bestiality and all kinds of stuff. And you can argue with me on that, German people. I was a German history major, and again, I'm not saying I'm totally correct, but it fits with the, he says that it fits with what happened in the 20s and why Hitler became so popular. Because before the 20s and before the advent of all this electronic stuff, it's still, Germany, that area has always been kind of militaristic. Really, I mean, if you look at the history. And so when the 20s came in and people started just doing this kind of decadent stuff, that's what allowed Hitler really to come to power, in my opinion. It's my opinion.
So what's the deal with, I know when we watched the official video that certain people were only allowed to listen to the radio for 2 hours a day.
I don't know.
Yeah, so
And
there was
when they
some
talk
kind of
about-
hierarchy.
Yeah. Well, and they try to say the radio and the women, like the breastfeeding the radio or
They
the radio,
worshipped it because,
because it was something they could do that really wasn't controlled by the man.
and
then-
escape too.
Yeah. And then the man came in and ruined it. I don't know how much truth is in that at all. But we're not here to discuss that as much as.
I remember we learned some of the history of it when we did the first video, and I don't think you remember that because it was before your memory loss. But the Rammstein coming from East Germany and getting liberated into West Germany and then dealing with that change and the stigma attached to being from East Germany. It's not been an easy road for those guys, particularly, if you're going to get into the limelight. But I think
the guy from, I'm sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I think that this was more about the people that were being
oppressed.
Well, I was going to say oppressed, but also not neglected. They weren't given the opportunity. They were left out of being able to listen to the radio.
I don't disagree with that at all. The guy that did that made the video and did the commentary on the making of the video said And I had forgotten totally that they're from East Germany, and when the wall came down, you know, and that's been totally in our lifetime, that they had to adjust. And he says in there, they're adjusting themselves. This is about they're, you know, they're making peace with themselves. I mean, he didn't say that, but that's kind of the idea is they're working out some inner stuff, right? I look at it all from a historical standpoint. I don't, and I'm missing totally the wall coming down, the East Germany thing, totally. And she brings it back up, and it makes a very good point. And when he said to me, when he first said it, I didn't get it until she said East Germany. Right? They came over from total Russian squashed them. They, you know that you've been over there, right? And so she was over there before the wall fell down, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, we ramble, and this is another long video. Thank you so much.
I want to also just tag on and say that the quality of just their videos and seeing them behind the scenes cutting up was nice, because they're usually pretty serious when we watch the videos.
Kind of serious to me.
Yeah, and just why they chose certain things. And how, you know, the voice should be presented is the very first part of the video. And this was officially read back in 1923, right? And
the way he read it, he said, Achtung, more important. Make
right, more serious.
Urgent,
Don't make it a happy announcement.
Right.
Yeah.
Loved that part, loved it.
And when they were kind of fizzing in and out as they were disappearing at the end.
Yeah.
That's kind of, it was like radio waves gone.
Yeah. And he was saying
so clever.
And he was saying that what I got out of that, this is me, was that when radio came along, the powers that be could no longer control it. Because you could have radio waves anywhere, and you could attack the waves, but you can't get to the people necessarily. That makes sense?
Yeah. At
that's
some
what
point,
I felt like.
Yeah, they turned off the tower at night, but but at some point, you know, you could tag on it. It just wasn't as easy back then. Nothing was as easy.
It's just totally different world, and we forget that. You know, we want to go back 30 years and talk about things that happened, and that was totally different 30 years ago. I lived through it. 50 years ago, I was 2 years old, and it was a totally different time.
Yeah.
I mentioned that some on my channel when I do the cover thing, but. Anyway, guys,
for the times they are a-changing.
I talked about that. I watched a video of mine now. I talked about that when KISS came out. We had just come out of the sexual revolution. Bob Dylan, you know, the people thought that, that America is going to be taken over on one side. The other side's all going to be peace, love, and hippies and flowers and shit. And then when KISS came out and they came down from New York, my parents hated it. Because if we just come out of that sexual revolution, right? Now comes these guys that are painted like clowns, singing if they thought about Satan and stuff. I was like, I'm in, man. Rock and roll.
Everybody thought they were satanic, which is so stupid.
I mean, and you know me, I love Marilyn Manson. I've done some Marilyn Manson stuff on my channel. I think we did on this channel as well. But, you know, a satanic, I don't know, man. I think Satan's much more clever than coming on a video with horns on and dancing around and singing. I love to hear her laugh. That makes me, it makes me so happy to hear her laugh.
Oh, well.
We've been in a weird place and we don't get laughs from each other often.
As often, yeah. Well, listen, we hope you liked this video. If you did, please hit like, subscribe, share, notify, comment down below, and as always, be blessed. That's right.
Please.
See you on the flippity flop.
Yes.